Hi, before we start to the story, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos and always keep you updated to my new upload. And if you like this video, please comment down below and click the like and share button. Let's start the story. The Chapter 1 of Rent a Wife. The first meeting I sight as I sat on the bench in the park. I was feeling really low as I observed the little kids running here and there while their mothers struggled to keep up with them. It made me smile, and I wished I could be as carefree as the children. I took my phone out and looked at my inbox again. There was the message that I had been dreading. Ms. Blake, as stated in our previous reminder, your mother will run out of her medicine soon. Her supply needs to be restocked. Please make the necessary arrangements at your earliest convenience. Yours sincerely, head nurse. I read the message once more. It never received it. And what excuse will you give for the calls you've ignored? Said a voice inside my head. I looked around in despair, and suddenly, I met a pair of blue eyes, beautiful eyes that reflected the blue summer sky. What was even more remarkable was the eyes were as disturbed as I felt. It seemed like they were reflecting my own feelings. Then, just as I was getting over the eyes, I saw that they belonged to the most handsome face I had ever seen. I know, it sounds cliché, right? But he was one of the most gorgeous guys I had ever seen. Scratch that. He was the most gorgeous guy that I had ever seen. His soft brown hair ruffled in the breeze. And he was looking at me with an annoyed expression. I looked away quickly. He must have felt uncomfortable when I was staring at him. My face had definitely turned an unattractive shade of red. Just then, my phone rang, shaking me out of my reverie. I looked at the display. It was the nurse from the healthcare facility where my mom now lived. I sighed and answered the phone. Hello? I said and winced as I heard the matron's stern voice. Ms. Blake, thank the Lord you answered. We were beginning to think something had happened to you. I bit my lip in guilt. I am so sorry, Mrs. Gupta. The truth is I didn't know what to. I noticed that as I was talking, the gorgeous guy was listening to my conversation. I shot him an annoyed look and tried talking softer. Ms. Blake, we do understand your predicament. Believe me, we really do. But, now her voice took on a gentler note, my girl, I am truly helpless. If I could, I would do whatever it took to help you. Despite myself, I smiled thinking of how many times the kind lady had helped me before. If you want, I can loan the money to you, I cut her off. No. Mrs. Gupta, I really appreciate your offer, but I need to do this myself. I hung up before she could hear me cry. I furiously wiped the tears that fell on my cheeks. Excuse me. I turned to see who it was and saw, to my horror, it was him. Yes. That gorgeous, super hot, blue-eyed man. He was talking to me, and I was just staring at him with half-dried tears in my eyes, my mouth hanging open slightly, and my nose a snotty mess. Yes, I know, very attractive. I finally shut my mouth and blinked at him like an idiot. Are you alright? He asked, and I continued staring at him. He cleared his throat, and I snapped out of my stupidity and nodded. Yes, I am fine. I am good. All good. He stared at me like I had lost my mind. But it wasn't my fault, he was sitting so close to me. So close that I could smell the fragrance he was wearing. It was rich, spicy, and woody. And to tell you the truth, it was making it quite difficult to think clearly. Well, hi. I rolled my eyes and replied, no way. I could never afford to live here. As soon as the words were out of my mouth, I regretted saying them. Seriously? I mean seriously. Who says that? You either say yes or no. Who the hell says that they can't afford to live here? Oh, I know who does, me. I looked at him, blushing furiously. I wanted the earth to open up so I could jump in it and it could close over me. Mercifully, he ignored my stupid comment. We just sat there in silence. I was contemplating my problem. I had to find a job. I had recently quit my job as a waitress at a cafe because I had finally stood up to the lecherous manager who had been harassing me and another girl. I couldn't take his hands accidentally brushing against my body every time he was around me. But I guess you might like this story. It's in your library. NOW really needed a job and had even convinced myself that all his touching was accidental. Anyway, it was time for me to search for a job because not only did I have to pay for my mother's medication, but I also had to support myself. I had just graduated this year, and it had been an awful year as I tried to fit in studying, working, and visiting my mom. So, said Jude, I sort of overheard that you need a job?" I looked at him indignantly. How dare he eavesdrop on my conversation and then have a group of children ran past us laughing, chasing a dog. Then my mind started working. I am sitting on a park bench, talking to a complete stranger and actually considering a job offer from him. What if he is one of those weirdos who pick up girls in the park and ask them to sleep with them in exchange for money? Or something even worse. What if he wanted to make some kinky videos of me? I would be a complete idiot if I continued this conversation. Yet the next words out of my mouth were, "What kind of job is it?" He looked up at me. He was a little hesitant. This did nothing to allay my fears. It just made me think that maybe I was right. He does want me to do something stupid. As he pondered what he had to say, I thought, what if he wants me to do something illegal? Looked rich, though. He was wearing a Calvin Klein t-shirt, and his shoes were Timberland. Well, maybe he had to steal to live the high life, if you know what I mean. "I want you to come and live with me." Smack. I don't know how, but it seemed like my hand moved of its own accord. How dare he suggest something like that? This time, though, I voiced my thoughts. "Look here, you rich rat. I don't care how rich you are and what perks come with being rich. If you think that I will sleep with you, and that since you used the euphemism come live with me, I'll be all smiles and fall down your feet in gratitude, you are wrong." I yelled the last bit out, and quite a few people were looking our way. But I didn't care. Yes, I needed a job. Yes, I needed it very badly. And, yes, I had very little time to get one. But there was no way I was going to resort to prostitution. Jude seemed to have recovered. "Get your mind out of the gutter. Confident much? Who said anything about you sleeping with me? Seriously? I have plenty of girls to choose from, and I don't need to pay a single one, thank you very much." I stared at him. "Then what do you want from me?" Personally, I was a little miffed. I wasn't sure whether I was relieved or hurt by what he had just said, and I found myself wondering what he had in mind. End of chapter 1. Hey guys, if you like the story, please comment a chapter 2 in the comment box. And don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell to always keep you updated to my channel. Thanks.